Hello, this video is a little special in as much as I'm not making one card but two. This card is going to show a technique called second generation stamping, and you may also have heard it described as ghost stamping. I'm going to use the MISTI tool to generate these two beautiful cards at the same time. It looks like it's very complicated to do, but it's actually very simple. If you don't have a MISTI tool, you can also do it with a stamp positioner tool. That would help you also. Alright, let me go through the materials that these two cards needs. I have two card bases. This is two? Yes. Making sure. Two card bases. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I have 3 panels of white, which is 3 3/4 by 5. 4 panels of cream paper cardstock, which is 5 1/4 by 4. The inks I'm using, it's going to be a lot because this is a multi-stage stamp. So let me just show you. First of all, of course, my Versafine Onyx Black. Oh, my hands are ashy. Lilac Posies, Lulu Lavender, Pear Tart, Bamboo Leaves, Cottage Ivy by Memento, and I'm missing one. Oh, it's right, it's on the floor. One second. Sweet Plum. There we go. The stamp set I'm using is by Altenew. It is called Vintage Roses. It's a beautiful stamp set and does all of these lovely flowers and leaves. And they are done in 3 stages or 4 stages in this case. You stamp your lightest color with the solid one, and then the next darker color, and finally the outline stamp. It makes really pretty images, as you can see. I have Something to Celebrate by Stampin' Up. And for the Altenew Vintage Roses stamp set, I also have the matching dies for these flowers. And I also have my stitched rectangle frames. I'm also going to need some green ribbon and some rhinestones, which have fallen. And as I mentioned, this technique is going to need the MISTI tool. Okay, so let me clear away these things and we'll jump right in. Okay, I've cleared a lot of this stuff away. Sorry about my hands. Oh, Q-Spa nails. I got a new nail design. They're very pretty, very sparkly. But I cannot put lotion on my hands because then I would get oils all over my cardstock. So sorry, people. But let's go. The first thing I'm going to do, I have taken one of the white panels. I'm going to stamp the leaves and the flowers, which will adorn the front of the card. So the 3-step stamping, you start off with the solid image in your lightest color. And I'll need 2 of these roses. And now the next darker, which is this one. And you just line these up one on top of the other. Just look right through, and it's pretty self-explanatory how to line it up. But there's a guide that helps you, that you can print out on the Altenew website, which I haven't done it. I'm just winging it. And as you see, it's not that hard. Even if you don't get it exactly right, it still looks very pretty. And now this one. Okay. And the final piece for this rose, I'm going to just go and get it in the black rather than get a darker version. And let's see. I think that goes this way. Yep. And there you can see the rose. Upside down though. Let's try that better. Come on. Focus, focus. Oh well, I tried. But it's very pretty. Okay, now I'm going to just stamp some leaves with the mid-tone of the greens. And it sounds like the UPS guy is here. I'll need 4 of these. But I'm going to stamp a few extras. Whoops! In case I make a mistake lining up the die cuts. Which frequently happens. You might want to do that yourself when you're cutting out intricate bits like this, which you'll die cut. If you found it easier to do, you could die cut it first and then stamp on top. Either way, depends on how steady your hands are. All right, set that aside. And while I have these stamps out, I'm going to stamp the inside panels. The inside panel, which I can show you, is a sentiment and another rose. So go through these same steps again, which you just saw me do. Alright, now let me clear out a little bit more of this stuff and move on to the next step. Alright, I have brought my MISTI in. I have already put the stamps that I need in place on the door. Hopefully I won't have to move them and I'll be able to just go through with them just like this. The technique is done by stamping both of the card fronts at the same time. One card front will be the first generation and the second card front will be the second generation. I'll just go through and show you the first couple of ones slowly, and then I'll speed up because I'll be repeating the same steps over and over. So first I'm putting the card base in place, and it's important with this technique that you get it exactly lined up the same way each time. So I'm starting with the lightest color of the purples. I'm inking the stamp. Don't want that over there. And press it. Now without cleaning the stamp, bring in the next paper, same spot, and press the second generation onto there. It's very light. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. Now you take the first one and put it back in, turn it upside down. I have such a problem with the lighting today. I'm so sorry. Turn it upside down and ink this up again. And swap out and get the other one. Okay. It's important that you clean the stamps between this so that you don't mess up your background here. For the next two, it's tricky because I have them all together, but let's see if I can get it. So I need to get the second one, which is this one, not these, this one. So, and I also have to make sure that my magnet is holding the paper down and it's cleared the stamps. Okay. So putting in the first generation, making sure that it's in the corner, holding it, and I'm only going to ink these three here with the next color. So I may have got a little bit, so I'm just going to clean that off with my finger. Okay, press it, and bringing in the first one again. And press it. So this will be the same technique for the rest of the flowers. I'll just speed this right up. Okay, now I want to add a little bit more leaves to the background. So I'm going to take the middle color, and I have a leaf stamp, and just put it in place. The first stamping will be on this one, the second stamping will be on this one, so I will maintain the second generation look. I think that's enough. Okay, now I have two identical panels. At this point, you take the two panels and put them together, and you run them through your big shot with your rectangle on top. If you were afraid it was going to move, you could take some low-tack tape and tape these two together, but it probably will stay put just from the pressure. So just line this up like this and run it to your big shot. I'll be right back with that. Okay, now the center just pops right out, and you have two identical panels. So what you do is you take the first generation and you put that in the second generation, and the second generation, and you put it in the first generation. And this creates the effect. Since you push them both through together, it lines up perfectly, as you can see. All right, I'm going to tape this down now so I don't have to worry about the two getting out of sync. So I need to get my final two cream panels and tape this down. And okay, that's it. This one. This will really get your card recipient wondering how you did it. They'll think you're a magician, but don't tell your secrets. There we go. Now, I'm going to take my sentiment that says Happy Mother's Day and my Versafine and stamp it right on the inside panel. If you thought that the inside panel was a little dark on the first generation, you could always stamp down here, but I think it's fine. So I'm going ahead, excuse my head and everything coming in the frame. It's a little over, but it's okay. There we go. Alrighty. Now these are going to go up on foam tape. But before I do that, I need to put them onto the card base. So I'm getting my bone folder and press my seam. And I also need the ribbon at this point. So you measure out by how much you need, and that ought to be enough. Times 2. And the ribbon, you just lay it across the center, just like this. And it will tack on the back. Make sure it's straight. And also make sure you still have it the right way before you put it down. And that looks right to me. That's one. Okay. That's 2. Now foam tape. Oh, I forgot the ribbon on this. Okay, people, you were supposed to tell me that. See if I can get this up. Grab my X-Acto knife and see if I can't pry that up. My daughter Jacqueline is better at this than I am. Just need to be able to slip that under there. There we go. Aha! Got it. A little bit more tape. And make sure I still have it right. It is right. Yep. Okay. Before I cut myself. Now this goes on in the center. Now the inside, I'm going to just speed through the rest to just tape this inside and then a little bit of rhinestones on the corner. Okay, remember this guy? Now we're going to run this to the Big Shot and cut out the flowers and the branches. Be right back. Okay, it's good that I made a few extras because some of these did not punch out very well, but I did get at least 4. Alright, so take a tape runner and put some tape on the back of the flower. You could also use Tombow for this. And just put the flowers, the leaves in place behind it so that they're poking out a little bit at an angle. Okay. Oh, yes, more like that, I think. Yep. And then a little bit of foam tape on the back. Oops. And just put it in place at the corner. Now that you have it in place, take the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen and sparkle up the flower and the leaves. Alright, that's the finished card. It looked like it was a lot more complicated than it really was. Thanks for watching. I'd like to thank my brother David for the music that has been accompanying my videos. He has a YouTube channel where you can hear more of his fantastic music. Link below in the comment section. Thanks to Q-Spa Nails for my nail design. They keep my hands looking wonderful except for the dryness. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Take care.